At 82, I've experienced many things in life, but there is one choice I truly wish I had made differently: deciding to live in a nursing home. At the time, it seemed like the right path to take. My family encouraged me, assuring me that I would have the care and comfort I needed. I trusted them, but after moving in, I soon realized that things were not how I had imagined. I know some of you may be considering this option, either for yourself or for someone you care about. Maybe it feels like the safest choice. Maybe you've been told it will make life easier. But before you take that step, I want to share 6 things I wish I had known before making this decision. Because the truth is, life in a nursing home is more than just convenience. It changes everything. And once you are there, going back is not as easy as you might think. Stay with me until the end, because some of these lessons might surprise you. And if you know someone thinking about this move, this video might be exactly what they need before making such an important decision. Now let's begin. The biggest shock after moving into a nursing home was not the small room, the fixed meal times, or even the unfamiliar faces. It was realizing that I no longer had control over my own life. Before, I had my daily routines. I chose when to wake up, when to eat, and how to spend my time. I could go for a walk whenever I wanted, cook my own meals, or simply relax in my favorite chair with a book. But once I moved in, I quickly saw that my time was no longer my own. Everything followed a schedule that wasn't mine. Breakfast was served at a set time, whether I was hungry or not. Lights went out at a fixed hour, even if I wasn't ready to sleep. Want to go outside for a walk? You might need permission, and you will probably have to wait until someone is free to help you. Even simple choices, like what to eat or what to wear, started to feel like special privileges rather than basic freedoms. I still remembered my first week there. I woke up in a bed that didn't feel like mine. I stretched and reached for my book, the one I had been reading at home. But as I looked around the unfamiliar room, I suddenly realized this wasn't my home. My books, my chair, and all the little things I had gathered over the years were gone. In their place were plain walls, a bed I didn't choose, and a feeling I couldn't shake. I was no longer in charge of my own life. The hardest part? Understanding that once you lose your independence, getting it back is nearly impossible. You adapt because you have no other choice. You stop complaining when they tell you what's for dinner. You stop asking if you can go for a walk when you feel like it. You learn to follow their system. But in doing so, you start losing a part of yourself. If you are thinking about moving into a nursing home, ask yourself, are you ready to give up the small freedoms that make life feel like your own? Because once they are gone, you will miss them more than you ever thought possible. One of the hardest realities about moving into a nursing home is realizing that life outside goes on without you. When I first arrived, my family promised to visit often. I believed them, and at first they did. My daughter came once a week. My grandchildren visited on weekends. For a short time, I felt like I was still connected to my old life. But as time passed, the visits became less frequent. My daughter started calling instead of coming. My grandchildren got busy with school and work. Holidays were the hardest. Everyone said they would come, but somehow, plans always changed at the last minute. Suddenly, I found myself sitting alone in a shared room, watching other residents stare at the door, hoping today would be the day someone remembered them. It wasn't that my family stopped loving me. Life just got in the way. When you're not there every day, people assume you're fine. They think you're adjusting, that you don't need as much attention anymore. But the truth is, the longer you stay in a nursing home, the easier it is for people to forget how much they mean to you. I remember one evening sitting alone in my room, holding my phone, wondering if I should call my son. I didn't want to be a bother. I didn't want to remind him that I was here, waiting for a visit that might never happen. So I put the phone down. And that's when it truly hit me. This was my life now, watching the days pass by, hoping someone would remember me. If you are thinking about moving into a nursing home, ask yourself, are you ready for the loneliness? Because no matter how much your family loves you, once you are out of sight, it's easier than you think to become out of mind. If you are still here and find these lessons meaningful, please share your thoughts in the comments. Let me know you're here by leaving a comment below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I suggest you do and turn on the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Now let's keep going. When I moved into the nursing home, I thought I was just changing where I lived. I didn't realize I was also changing my reason for living. At home, I had things to do. I had hobbies, daily tasks, and reasons to get out of bed every morning. Even small things like watering the plants, making my own coffee, and keeping my space tidy gave me a sense of purpose. But in the nursing home, those daily habits were gone. Someone else made the meals, someone else did the cleaning, and the plants. I had none to take care of anymore. At first, I told myself it was nice to finally have time to rest. No chores, no duties, just relaxation. But after a few weeks, I felt something was missing. The days seemed long, stretching on with nothing to do but wait. I saw it happening to others, too. People who had once been full of energy now spent their time just sitting, staring, waiting for the day to end. There was a man named George, 84 years old, who had worked with wood all his life. At home, he was always fixing things, always busy with small projects in his garage. But here, there were no tools, no wood, nothing for him to build. I watched as he slowly stopped trying. His hands, once strong and skilled, now just rested in his lap. "I feel useless," he told me one day. And I understood exactly how he felt. When you have nothing to take care of, nothing to work on, life starts to lose its meaning. The mind slows down, the body weakens, and before long, you start feeling like just another person in a place where time moves forward, but nothing ever really changes. If you are thinking about moving into a nursing home, ask yourself, what makes life feel meaningful to you? Because once you're there, finding a purpose is not just about keeping busy. It's about holding on to the things that make you feel alive. Before I moved into a nursing home, I was doing fine for my age. I wasn't running races, but I could take care of myself. I could go for walks and cook my own food. I had little routines that kept me moving. Going to the store, stretching in the mornings, even just walking around the house to keep my legs strong. But once I moved in, everything changed. At first, it felt like I was just taking a break. My food was brought to me, so I didn't have to stand in the kitchen. If I needed anything, I could just press a button and someone would come to help. What I didn't realize was that the less I did for myself, the weaker I became. I stopped moving as much, and soon my legs started to feel stiff. I sat more than before, and before I knew it, even getting out of a chair felt difficult. The strength I had spent years building was fading faster than I ever thought possible. And it wasn't just me. I saw it happen to others, too. People who arrived walking on their own soon needed wheelchairs. People who had once been independent now needed help with things they had always done on their own. The more help we were given, the more we needed it. I remember Alice, my neighbor, an 81-year-old woman who was full of life when she first arrived. She walked every day, saying she wasn't going to slow down just because she was older. But after a few months, I noticed she wasn't walking as much. Then she needed a walker, then a wheelchair. One day, she looked at me and said, "I don't know when it happened, but I feel like I got 10 years older in just a few months." And that's exactly how it felt. When you stop using your body, you start losing it. And in a nursing home, where everything is set up to make life easier, it's easy to forget that moving isn't just about getting around. It's about staying strong. If I had known how quickly I would lose my strength, I would have done more to keep moving, to stay active, to push myself even when I didn't feel like it. If you're thinking about a nursing home, ask yourself, will you still have the drive to keep your body strong when everything is done for you? Because once you slow down, getting back up is harder than you think. If you're still watching this video and you found these lessons helpful, leave a comment below. Leave a comment below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I suggest you do and turn on the bell so you never miss a video. Your support helps us keep making good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's continue. One thing I didn't fully think about before moving into a nursing home was how much privacy I would lose. At home, I had my own space. I could close my bedroom door, sit quietly if I wanted, and do things in my own way. But in a nursing home, privacy is not something you always get to keep. From the moment I arrived, I felt like I was always being watched. Staff came in and out, checking rooms at set times, and shared spaces meant I was rarely alone. Even simple things like putting on clothes or using the bathroom often needed someone else's help. I knew they were just doing their job, but it's not easy to accept help for things I had always done myself. That first week was hard. I had to get used to asking before doing things I once did without thinking. Want to take a shower? You might have to wait until someone is free to assist you. Need to use the bathroom? Pressing the call button doesn't always mean immediate help. Even meals were limited. If you didn't like what was served that day, there weren't many other choices. Then there was the issue of roommates. Not everyone gets a room to themselves, and living with someone you didn't choose can be difficult. I was lucky to have a kind roommate, but I heard stories from others who weren't so lucky. Some had roommates who were noisy, messy, or had memory problems that made sleeping hard. And no matter how much you decorate your room, it never fully feels like your own. Losing dignity is tough. I didn't realize how much of mine I would have to give up until I was already there. When people knock but don't always wait for you to answer, when they talk to you like a patient instead of a person, when your daily routine is controlled by a schedule you didn't make, it changes you. You start feeling less like yourself and more like just another person on a list. If you're thinking about a nursing home, ask yourself, are you ready to give up the privacy and control you've had your whole life? Because once it's gone, getting it back is not easy. When I first moved in, I told myself it was only for a short time. I thought I would try it out, see how it went, and if I didn't like it, I could always leave. But I didn't understand how hard it would be to go back once I was in. At first, it seemed simple. If I wasn't happy, I would just return home. But home wasn't the same anymore. My house sat empty, and taking care of it from far away became a problem. My children had already made changes, selling things they thought I wouldn't need, and even talking about renting the place out. When I said I wanted to go back, they weren't sure. Are you sure you can handle alone? Wouldn't it be safer to stay? We just want what's best for you. Then there was the issue of my health. After months of not having to cook, clean, or even walk much, I wasn't as strong as before. The independence I had started slipping away, making the thought of living alone more difficult than I expected. I wasn't as sure of myself anymore, and that fear kept me from leaving. I met others who felt the same. They thought they would stay in the nursing home for a short time, only to realize leaving wasn't as easy as they had hoped. The longer you stay, the harder it is to adjust to life outside. Some people lost the choice completely. After their home was sold or their savings were spent on care, there was no way to go back. That's the part no one warns you about. Moving in feels like something you can undo, but for most people it isn't. The nursing home slowly becomes your whole world, and before you know it, the life you once had starts feeling like something far away. If you're thinking about a nursing home, ask yourself, are you ready for the chance that once you move in, leaving may not be as easy as you think? Because once you're there, the things that keep you from going back, money, health, or even just fear, can be much harder to get past than you expect. If you're still watching and you found these lessons helpful, leave a comment below. Leave a comment below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I suggest you do and turn on the bell so you won't miss any videos. Your support helps us keep making good content to share helpful and inspiring messages with you. Now, let's talk about my final thoughts. Looking back, I don't regret getting older, but I do regret thinking that moving into a nursing home was my only choice. I went in expecting comfort, safety, and a better life. But what I found was a place that slowly took away my freedom, my privacy, my purpose, and even my sense of who I was. Does that mean all nursing homes are bad? Not necessarily. Some people truly need the care they provide. But before you decide, think carefully about what you're giving up. Because once you move in, your life will never be the same. If I had the chance to do it again, I would have done more to stay in my own home. I would have looked for more ways to get help without losing my freedom. I would have made sure I truly had no other choice before making such a big change. And if you're in a place where you have to decide, I hope you take the time to ask yourself, is this really the best choice for me? Or is it just the easiest choice right now? Because the life you have today your daily routines, your freedom, and your ability to make your own choices is worth keeping for as long as you can. Thank you for being here with us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts matter to us, so don't be shy. Let us know what you think. Reading your comments gives us motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue making great content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we can't wait to see you in the next video.